It is Sunday, the 26th of February. I'm in front of the Unitarian Church of Montreal. We're looking at Reverend Diane Rollert with her husband David Rollert and Shoshona, I think her last name might be Green, and a couple other people. It looks like they're going to do a little procession into the church soon. And we're just starting up a new segment of video because the previous half-hour segment just ended automatically. Basically, the time limit ran out. So they're going to do a little procession into the church. So this means that it's not quite 10:30 yet. And of course, they're being, very nice Unitarians. Unitarian Universalism is all about being nice. But these very nice Unitarian Universalists are, all of them, every single one of them here, guilty of participating in or condoning the cover-up and denial of such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape committed by certain Unitarian Universalist ministers. At least two of them, Shoshona and David, are guilty of erasing my chalk slogans that protest against the Unitarian Universalist Association's misuse of blasphemy law to hide pedophilia and rape. So they're knowing and willful participants in the cover-up. Oh yes, that's it. Be nice, yeah. Be super nice Unitarians. So yeah, this is what I love about Unitarian Universalists, is how they're so nice, so friendly amongst themselves, but at the same time they basically are extreme hypocrites who do not make even the slightest effort to practice what Unitarian Universalism preaches about free and responsible search for truth and meaning, or justice, equity, and compassion. Oh, here comes Murphy. Curtis Murphy, prospective Unitarian Universalist minister, who's another person who's implicated, or at least complicit in the misuse of blasphemy law to hide pedophilia and rape, just by the fact that he's seen my protest and has never at any time, to the best of my knowledge, ever condemned the Unitarian Universalist Association's misuse of blasphemy law to hide pedophilia and rape and so on. Well, here's another former president of the board of the Unitarian Church of Montreal, trying to remember her name. Unfortunately, off the top of my head, I can't. Harvey, do you really enjoy making a fool of yourself on video? Because that's what you're doing, Harvey, when you do silly things like that. So, Harvey making a couple of peace signs or victory signs, I'm not sure which. Victory sign would be quite inappropriate because he's on the losing end of this deal. Anyone standing here is essentially not in any position of victory. They're all at minimum complicit in the Unitarian Universalist Association's misuse of blasphemy law to hide pedophilia and rape, and they're also complicit in a variety of other injustices and abuses committed by Unitarian Universalists either locally here at the Unitarian Church of Montreal or nationally or internationally, in the greater Unitarian Universalist religious community. So yeah, I'm gonna do a little procession. My battery's like almost done here, so I'm kind of hoping it will last long enough to record the procession into the church. I mean, I could, stop recording and change the battery now. Might not be such a bad idea. But if I do that, I might sort of miss what's about to happen, because it is, I believe, only a matter of seconds or minutes before they do their little sing-song procession into the church. But this is just the fact that they're all here and pretending to be totally oblivious to my protest against misuse of blasphemy, law-to-hide rape, and various other injustices and abuses, just shows what pathetic hypocrites they are, really. I mean, they're just totally incapable of dealing responsibly with the injustices, abuses, and hypocrisy that occurs within the religious community, and that, to some extent, they're directly involved in. They're not directly implicated in, to the best of my knowledge, the Unitarian Universalist Association's false blasphemous libel accusation against me. They might have been completely unaware that this was happening until I brought it to their attention. Here they go. Oh, they're not even doing a sing-song. They're just walking into the church. So, yeah, about 7 or 8 Montreal Unitarian hypocrites heading into the Unitarian Church of Montreal. And I think we're going to wrap up my protest on this note, because I could stay out here for another half hour or so, but the battery's done, and I've had a pretty good protest. I don't see the need to continue protesting. So I will just let this continue a bit. But yeah, they went inside, and every single one of them is a two-faced hypocrite who, claims to believe in justice, equity, and compassion in human relations, but on the other hand, turns a blind eye to egregious perversion of justice on the part of the Unitarian Universalist Association, but they also turn a blind eye to injustices and abuses that take place within the Unitarian Church of Montreal locally here. In fact, the Reverend Diane Rowlett herself is a direct participant in what I think can be properly described as a perversion of justice, one that she herself is guilty of. We won't go into that right now because, as I said, the battery's about to die, and I just don't feel like continuing the protest and the video recording. We're pretty well done. We just see this little car showing up here. So, little smart car showing. Oh, it's Genevieve Patterson, and she's going in to the church. Great quotation marked church. It would be maybe a better word. I've actually considered making a picket sign that says fake church, playing off the whole fake news thing, because in many ways the Unitarian Church of Montreal is in fact a fake church. It makes various claims about what its principles and ideals are, and yet it fails miserably. Indeed, it knowingly and willfully refuses to live up to its claimed principles and so on. So in that respect, Unitarian Church of Montreal is very much a fake church. This is the mission statement of the Unitarian Church of Montreal. Our spiritual community welcomes, nurtures, inspires, challenges. Together we take action in the world. Well, you might notice that there is zero moral and ethical content here. It sounds all very nice and, fluffy bunny, good stuff. But guess what? This could be interpreted in a very negative manner. What exactly does the spiritual community known as the Unitarian Church of Montreal actually welcome? Well, the fact of the matter is that the Unitarian Church of Montreal, amongst other things, welcomes anti-religious intolerance and bigotry on the part of its members and leaders, such as Reverend Ray Drennan and Frank Green, to name but two of them. And one can say that the spiritual community, known as the Unitarian Church of Montreal, also nurtures the anti-religious intolerance and bigotry of Reverend Ray Drennan and Frank Green and others. And so on. What does it inspire? Well, I've been physically assaulted by Unitarian Universalists, members of the Unitarian Church of Montreal. Were those assaults inspired by either words and actions of the leadership of the church, or perhaps the failure of the leadership of the church to speak out against previous assaults and so on. You know, what exactly does the spiritual community of Montreal, or the Unitarian Church of Montreal, what exactly does it challenge? Well, it certainly challenges my peaceful public protest against various injustices, abuses, and hypocrisies. So that's not exactly a good thing. Together we take action in the world. Well, yeah, I've been physically assaulted. I've had picket signs stolen. I've had my chalked slogans erased. I've had various false complaints about my conduct called into the police. False accusations of assault when I didn't so much as touch someone. Various other false accusations. The Unitarian Church of Montreal has repeatedly misused the Canadian Criminal Code in efforts to shut down my protest. They've called in all kinds of false complaints to the police, and in some cases, not all of them, the police have acted on the false complaints. In other cases, I was able to make it clear to the police that it was bullshit, and they did not proceed to act on the complaint when I was able to convince them that it was false. But there's been other occasions where I was actually arrested on completely bullshit criminal charges and had to go to court to defend myself. I was acquitted after, you know, several court dates spread over 3 years or so. But the fact of the matter is, you know, I was actually arrested and charged with violating section 176.3 of the Canadian Criminal Code, which prohibits disrupting the order and solemnity of church services, in a outrageously cynical misuse of that law by members of the Unitarian Church of Montreal. You know, they essentially tried to use a law that prohibits disrupting church services to shut down my protest outside the church, which does no such thing. So yeah, that's just some of the actions that Montreal Unitarians take in the world together, because you know, and occasionally it's just one individual doing something. You know, usually when I'm assaulted, it's just one individual who's committing the assault. But usually when my picket signs are stolen, it's just one individual committing the theft. But when it comes to false criminal charges being brought against me, when it comes to false complaints being called into the SPVM police force, false, you know, alleging that I've assaulted someone when I've done no such thing, well, then it's usually at least 2 or 3 or more Montreal Unitarians working together, conspiring together. And then, of course, there's the restraining order that Reverend Diane Rollert sought against me. So she took action in the world by pretending to be very, very, very frightened of me, pretending that I threatened her when I'd done no such thing, pretended that I'd screamed at her when I'd done no such thing. And she rounded up at least half a dozen or so members of the Unitarian Church of Montreal to sign affidavits, you know, complaining about, you know, my allegedly threatening behavior. And on the basis of those complaints, which the police, okay, that's it. We're done.